Valentine's Day.
Oh, man. Yeah.
All right.
Valentine's
We're on.
Happy Valentine's Day. Right. Hello.
You ready?
What's up, everyone? It is Actifio on Tech for Thursday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Everybody.
I'm the only one wearing red, of course, because,
Very festive.
I'm festive, unlike some other folks here.
Didn't get the memo.
Miss Black over here, Mr. Green over here. Although, are you clashing with the screen?
I'm hoping that
Can
I'm
we see you?
transparent right now.
I can-
No, we can see you. You're not transparent.
I'll work on that.
That'd be
Hey everyone, so welcome. Please hit the subscribe button so you get notifications when we start. Sometimes we start at 3:30, sometimes we start at 3:45, sometimes we start at 4, whenever our intrepid producer can get us going. So
Nice.
you know how it goes. But please hit the subscribe button, then you get the notifications about when we go live and things like that. So today, I brought in a special beer. This is a beer called Jam the Radar, which is a barrel-aged imperial raspberry stout. It's aged in bourbon barrels and finished with cacao. I was going to say caseo, but cacao nibs and raspberries. It's from our friends at Bottle Logic in Anaheim, California. I think we might have done another one on here before or not, but I'm a big fan of their stouts, especially these, what they call their stasis stouts, which are their adjunct barrel-aged program for their stouts. This beer just came out actually for 2019. This is the 2018 version. 2019 just came out last week, I believe, so it'll be interesting to see how that tastes because I'm going to get a bottle of that as well. But I'm going to crack this, and we're going to get some stories for you what's going on in the tech world. By the way, I wasn't here last week, so quick shout out to the New England Patriots, Super Bowl champions.
Beat LA.
Woo.
Beat LA. Yes, this is from Anaheim, so we're going to drink to that.
Absolutely.
And so we got some Red Sox beat LA. Patriots beat LA.
And did you also see that the traffic beat LA as
Traffic
well?
beat LA. Boston traffic, worst in the nation.
Not the best thing to beat, but we're
As
still
someone
up
who
there.
drives in it every day, as well as you, we can attest to that
Absolutely.
fact.
Else you beat your head against the steering wheel.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
much. We just need the Celtics and Bruins to get it going.
Step it up, guys.
And then we'll see what happens. So I'm going to crack this open, and why don't we have the ladies first on the Valentine's Day, lady first, and tell us what your story is for this week.
Well, happy Valentine's Day. I have a story that kind of relates to the Valentine's Day thing right now. I don't know if anyone out there is familiar with the dating app Coffee Meets Bagel, but everyone woke up this morning with a not-so-sweet Valentine's Day surprise.
Oh, what a pun. I love it.
She is
Getting
on
punny
fire
today.
today. That's good.
I practiced that one. But so apparently that they had 6 million users that were breached of information, their emails, names, their location. So that's just relating to Valentine's Day. So anyone out there who's on an app like that, I would go make sure that your whole profile isn't on Google.
Now,
But-
is Coffee Meets Bagel what is
what is
Tinder?
that?
Or,
So yeah, from my understanding, it is like a Tinder.
Okay.
Originally, it was pitched on Shark Tank back in 2015. So it kind of took off during the whole era of all these dating apps being launched, and it's just a different type of format compared to like your Tinder, Bumble.
Okay, but it's not like an Ashley Madison situation.
No, not quite like that. That would
remember
be
we talked
hilarious.
about that a lot at the
That
time.
was
Yeah.
definitely different. This is just more so, thank you, a breach of your personal information. But so I just wanted to put that out there. But I saw this. I found this on kind of interesting. So Paris right now is seeking $14 million from Airbnb because of illegal advertisers. So, I mean, Airbnb is just, I think it's a great app. I hadn't used it up until last year, just because I was still on the hotel thing. But we just this past New Year's, a group of my friends rented out a place in Vermont. It worked out awesome. Airbnb was great. But Paris is having some issues due to the fact that people are illegally advertising their 120-day period that they can have someone in their home and making false advertisements that are saying that they can. So basically what's happening is the mayor of Paris is suing for, I think it was, 1,200 euros or 12,000 euros
12.5
per
million euros.
posting.
Yeah.
So that's a crazy amount. So every person that they are catching doing this illegal posting, they're fining that much. But they're pretty much trying to avoid the whole issue with tourists kind of infiltrating authentic Paris neighborhoods that are turning into areas that have all these tourists that are turning these houses into frat houses. So they're trying to kind of reel that back in.
Parisians, man, they don't like Airbnb. They don't like Uber.
Well, yeah, that's
What do they like?
they're trying to keep it authentic. Authentic. So that's
Yeah, I used Airbnb in Italy when my wife and I went on our trip for 10 days in Italy in the fall, and it was awesome. We got some great apartments for great prices, and it was really convenient. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of it.
get more of like an authentic experience too. So that was also something they were saying, that it's taking away from the tourism industry, the hotels, stuff like that. So that's on the move right now, and I'm very curious to see what ends up happening if Airbnb gets banned from Paris, or never know.
Yeah. Well, cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason, for sharing.
Yeah.
This beer is
Thank you.
smells fantastic.
Smells like a raspberry. A chocolate
Smells like a raspberry
It is.
bomb.
I think jam is definitely a correct description there.
Well,
Jam.
I think it has something. I was telling Jason earlier. It has a reference to Spaceballs.
Spaceballs. Radar's been jammed.
You've been jammed.
Pretty good.
This is really good.
I like that.
I like it too.
I think it's appropriate
I
for
like it a lot.
Valentine's
Oh
Day.
wow.
Right?
What's the ABV on this?
13?
17.9.
No, it's 13%.
It's only 13.7.
It's pretty. It's nice and smooth for that heavy of a beer.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
nice.
Well, it's also been in the cellar for a year. So.
Yeah.
That makes it
Thanks,
more
Jason,
smooth.
for giving us your
Thank you.
leftovers. Appreciate it.
Our leftovers.
As always.
Not bad leftovers.
Not bad.
Like filet mignon leftovers,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right, so I have a couple stories. I'm just going to do the first one for now. Chris will get to one of yours, but I think everyone has seen this in the news. Amazon has canceled HQ2 in New York. They received a ton of backlash from legislators and politicians, because they weren't consulted in the original process, and they were upset
their
about.
piece.
Well, yeah, they want their exactly. They want their piece. They wanted to be involved, and with all the incentives, they felt like they were getting the short end of the stick. So even though I believe 70% of the people polled in New York City wanted them to be there, Bezos has pulled out
Really?
of the deal and is so they've said that they're not going to look for another location. They're going to continue with the Northern Virginia and the Nashville sites, which have already been pre-selected. And it seems like a lot of people are out of money for those folks who rush to buy apartments and condos
Absolutely.
unseen via text in Long Island City.
The risk of playing the
right.
market, yeah.
Yeah, they risked, and they are going to fall on their faces, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is total.
I saw something on this that they're still planning on expanding over time, as you might
Yes.
expect. They're going to grow, but there's just not the super rapid build out.
Right, I think they said they have about 5,000 people in New York City already.
Yeah.
And they're going to expand the office locations there and things like
Yeah.
that, but they're not going to have like the mega.
The mega.
Yeah, the mega.
Where
headquarters.
was the office as of right, or supposed to be?
In Long Island
It was in
City?
Long Island?
Long Island
Long Island
City. It's
City.
like
Oh, yeah.
the
I see
connection point between New York City and Long Island,
Gotcha.
basically, which is already a heavily congested
Oh, yeah.
area. So would have definitely.
And a great brewery. Long Island City
Amazon
Brewery.
lies.
Oh, Long Island City
That's
Breweries
great.
there? Yeah. Oh, nice.
This,
So that has been squashed, and some people are happy, some people aren't happy.
Yeah.
As with everything in life and in the world, it seems as today's,
I do find the reactions kind of funny where they say Amazon takes their ball and goes home, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at posters right now of people with like the Amazon upside down frowning face. Amazon lies.
Yeah, they took the boxes and would like put
Oh,
eyeballs
man.
above the.
That's pretty
Pretty
upside
creative,
I like that.
honestly.
That is kind of creative. I
I
agree.
like that.
Reminds me of the Detroit Lions, where the bags over their heads, right?
Yeah. Poor Lions.
Or the Browns, for that matter. So, oh well,
Curious to see if they end
Oh,
up
no
back
tax
there.
breaks for them.
no tax breaks for them. I guess people will save money, maybe, probably not, but
Yeah, it's so hard to estimate what that's actually going
Right.
to do for your economy, right? I think we've learned by now that like publicly financing stadiums maybe not a great idea, but giving a tax break to a company that's going to employ 25,000 people at high rate of wage.
Bad.
Well, that's
Doesn't seem like a
that's
terrible
debatable as
idea.
well.
Yeah, sure.
If it's the warehouse people,
warehouse, then-
they won't be happy, as we've talked about on Tech before
Yep.
in the past, right? So
Yep,
we'll see how it goes.
fair enough.
All right, you got a story?
Yeah, so our other favorite company of On Tech, Tesla, there was a story that came out where supposedly independent firm did an analysis of the crash data that the NHTSA
Got it.
had analyzed last year. This you might have heard about at the time. They came out and said that the pre-autopilot versus post-autopilot rollout crash rate was 40% lower with autopilot than without.
Which seems ridiculous.
Well, it could potentially be true. We don't know. I think at the time, a lot of people were suspicious of that, right? They were saying,
Right.
oh, you're probably playing games with the numbers, all sorts of things. Well, it turned out to be far worse than simply statistical games. Actually, what they did was the data sources were missing some pieces, right? So
Some key pieces.
yeah,
Very
and
key.
one might have theories about why they were missing, but we won't go there.
Typo.
Yeah, so basically you had several sources of mileage data and then when the crashes happened. Right? So if you had a car that was pre-autopilot in mileage and had a crash, you'd register that in the pre-autopilot category. And you calculate a crash rate over all the miles and all the cars, crashes. And do the same for post-autopilot. Well, it turned out that there was 20% of the crashes reported pre-autopilot didn't have any miles logged for the car. So they drove 0 miles and they crashed.
So that will result in a higher rate.
Yes.
Yeah.
As we know from math, that would seem to just be a
The
really,
gears are turning in the head. Yeah.
really basic fundamental thing when analyzing data, look for things that don't logically make sense.
Right.
Unfortunately, the NHTSA did not do that. You can make your own judgments about why that might be, but the fact is it was out there for almost maybe over a year. And only now did the Freedom of Information
That is
request
crazy.
get cleared so this company
So they
could
could
get
find
that
it.
data
Yeah.
and analyze it themselves and find glaring, obvious flaws in this.
Wonder why it took that long.
A lot of bad drivers. That's what I'm gonna go with. They just couldn't
Well, you
get
know
out of the
that
The
parking
data
lot.
was going down the highway, but
Yeah.
it just took a wrong.
You know the saying, good enough government work?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well, not in this case.
Ouch. Ouch, Jason.
That's good.
Oh my
Touche.
god. Yeah. So I guess we'll probably see some more news about that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Some follow up to come.
I did see on a related note that the NHTSA released their 2019 rankings of the safest vehicles, and I think Lexus was at the top. Toyota was up there as well. Obviously, they're the same brand basically. So from a base perspective, so I didn't see Tesla on
We
that
have to
list.
wonder.
Didn't see Tesla.
Do we
on that
trust their
list.
crash?
Well, that's true.
Who knows?
That's true.
What was even going on? There were some Ubers and Lyfts out in California that were the self-driving ones, and actually that was the whole issue behind. All right, we're putting random strangers in here and they're crashing on autopilot, so kind of controlling. Teslas in general, I feel like they're kind of, growing and
Oh, yeah.
developing in ways that we can't kind of control like that.
Yeah, they're always changing, and there's going to be a lot of decisions to be made coming up pretty soon.
I agree.
See the video of the Tesla that auto stopped at the intersection and almost got hit?
No.
Like there was a car coming, perpendicular to it. It ran the red light, and the Tesla auto it stopped itself.
Yeah.
The driver didn't stop it.
That's pretty
And it
cool.
would have T-boned it if it
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
Car just kept going.
But do you
Well,
think
it's an example of a good.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
And there's been definitely examples like that, right?
Right. I think you're gonna get both sides of it, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's also do you think that people are relying too much on it too? Like,
Right.
you could have maybe been paying attention to
God
the
forbid.
intersection, but it's probably my Tesla has my back.
Could be.
I think that's definitely a factor.
Yeah.
Even just with the lane keeping in other cars, right?
I think
Start
that,
to-
yeah.
My
drift
car,
off.
my car has the auto braking. If you get too close or it senses a car braking in front of you with an accident, it's really annoying. Because I could know this car is turning and I'm going to pass it safely,
And it still brakes.
tries to brake.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Well, having driven in the car with
Jerking.
you, I don't know if you're safe.
In my head, I'm safe.
Yeah, that's right.
You're safe when you're alone.
So speaking of automatic things,
Excuse me.
Ford, the car manufacturer,
Car manufacturer.
has
They don't
created.
make cars anymore.
Well, clearly they're not, because they've created a conveyor bed.
I know. When you told me this, I was really thrown
I
off.
have to know what this
That
means.
Ford is doing
Please
this.
tell me.
So essentially, what it is if you've got a partner who tends to hog a side of the bed or creeps in your space, the bed actually has a conveyor on it now that it will move
I think
because it
that's
has
hilarious.
pressure sensors.
That's
That it
amazing.
will move the person to recalibrate the bed and make sure that they're in their proper lane. Yeah, so if you look and see here, it's pretty funny. So
Oh, we should put this
the
video
bed,
up on our
it
screen.
has we'll put on the thing as a.
We'll link to it or whatever.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
pretty
gosh.
funny, but yeah.
So how much do these go for?
It doesn't say. This is the first prototype of
Okay, I see.
it. But it's very similar to the lane adjust, the lane keeper, because if you
Come
cross
on.
the person really pushes them back. And here's a video. Watch, I'll play it.
No, that's marketing.
You guys can't see the
Come on.
video, but
that's
watch this.
genius marketing.
like gets too close and your wife gets conveyed off the bed. Is that?
Now it doesn't prevent snoring, unfortunately. I need a bed for that.
It could though if
Sleep
it rolls
number.
you over into a new position.
Right. It's
Well,
the
that's very
anti-cuddle
true.
bed.
That is very true,
No cuddling.
User-defined zones.
right?
No cuddling for you.
Let's see if they'll actually show
Could
it
car
moving.
technology? This
Here
is
we go.
I don't
interesting.
think they can.
Watch this.
because it's-
See, look. When the person just moves on her side, it
No
moves them.
way.
Oh
See that?
my
No
god!
way.
It's pretty cool. We'll put a link to the
I feel
video
like
so
you'd like
you can
get
see
launched
it.
off of it.
But this one is pretty gentle. It's got pressure sensors. See, it looks like it's pretty
That's
safe.
really interesting.
What if you can connect that to Alexa?
Alexa,
I bet you
roll my
can.
husband over.
Well, they should do it
It's in my way
automatically.
again.
Pressure sensor. So, but anyway, we'll send a link to you there. But apparently, Ford getting
Super
into some
cool.
other utilizing their car technology
Okay,
for
yeah.
other practical uses
I
in
think
the
that's
house.
awesome.
Interesting.
Yeah,
mean-
I could use that bed. Not gonna lie.
Do you think this? It says it's going to save marriages. Do you think it's going to save them or actually tear people more apart? That's the real question.
I don't know. Hopefully, you can shut it up. Hopefully, yeah, if you want to snuggle, right? You know, big spoon, little spoon. You
Snuggle
want to make
mode
sure.
activated.
Well, exactly.
Conveyor mode.
And get the dog off the bed, maybe. That would be nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
right.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good call.
Dog seems to love to sleep directly on the pillow, you know.
All right. Yeah.
Pick
Have a
my
mode for
dog
that.
over a significant
Fair
other.
enough.
So
Whoa.
that's just me. Valentine's Day, everyone.
Hashtag Valentine's Day. Respect the pooch.
Oh, my
yeah.
God.
Speaking of cars and all that, Jason and I kind of stumbled upon the first fully 3D printed motorcycle. We're still not completely understanding the whole material makeup of the tires. It looks like it's a plastic type
Yeah, the
of.
tires were 3D printed. They're not rubber.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
They're like plastic.
so this whole motorcycle in total weighs 130 pounds, whereas like a normal motorcycle weighs close to 400 pounds plus.
They're heavy.
So
Is it electric?
this is I don't believe it is.
It did say that the engine was not 3D printed,
Right.
so I'm guessing it's a gas
It's
engine.
still a super cool looking motorcycle, which we can share this as well. It's very like, futuristic, like coming from a printer is really cool. But the whole 130 pounds of a motorcycle being, and I believe it took them 3 days
Yeah.
to construct, which is, I mean,
Yeah, it has airless tires. They're basically they're like layers of plastic that have been able to compress and expand
It
and
looks
stuff,
pretty
like
cool.
bumps and stuff. It's very interesting to see it drive.
I'd
We saw
like
the
to
video.
know if that
the
ever
video of it
becomes.
actually-
Oh yeah.
Operating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's ever going to take off and they start, printing out the motorcycles.
So
which
the
I
old
find-
piracy ads, you wouldn't download a car. Everyone always made fun of that. Sure I would.
Well,
Now you
Write
can.
me up a motorcycle.
Right.
Why not?
Kinda cool.
Exactly.
I love it.
Get anything printed,
Yep.
which is regulations of that too. I'm sure are going to be
It'd be interesting
next-
to
It's a
see.
safety thing.
Yeah.
well
Right,
that
like,
right
Can it
'cause-
withstand a crash?
I mean,
Or just
when
like-
you get into a crash with any motorcycle, you're screwed pretty much.
Yeah, that's
right.
true.
Or the fact that everyone, like, not everyone, people can afford getting a 3D printer, and now I'm gonna make a motorcycle in my backyard, and I'll sell it to you, Jason.
Sweet.
I don't know if I can afford that 3D printer, but
Right.
It's very nice to read.
Probably not that
Go
one.
for it.
yeah,
3D printers?
there's a huge
Let me
range.
see.
Is there?
They can be as cheap as a couple $100.
Yeah, but this one,
You're not going to
this
print
one,
a motorcycle.
no, this one, it's pretty. I think the printer printed pieces of it. They put it together, so it's
Sure.
not just one printout.
Yeah.
The tires were printed, the
Okay.
chassis was printed, the handlebar, all was all printed. They built, they could all interconnect it though, but like it was pretty big.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought it looked really cool, and I mean, it's cool how this whole new generation of 3D printing is now kind of coming more to surface, and things that we can,
Right, things you
And if
actually
you break
use.
it- Right.
right.
Yeah, if
Not-
you break a piece, you can
not just like a
print
toy.
it right back on.
Yeah.
Right?
You're good to go.
Lost
Oh,
my
so-
muffler.
Yeah. Like, I'm always
worry.
breaking stuff off my bike and stuff. I
Yeah.
wish I could just print a new handle or something.
Dude, the future's here.
It is.
Future is now. Just not in my house.
Speaking of future, something that no longer has a future, Oppie.
Ooh, look, you with the.
What is it?
Oppie, the Mars rover Opportunity, officially dead. Officially declared dead.
It lasted a lot longer than it was supposed to, though, on a positive note.
It did. It was supposed to be 5 years?
Yeah,
less than
something.
15.
Yep.
Wow.
So apparently the
Is that a battery or
iconic,
what?
yeah. So it's run by solar power.
Yeah.
And a humongous sandstorm happened on the planet, and batteries drained,
No
and they
windshield
have no way to.
windshield.
Basically, yeah. So
We can't kickstart it?
can't kickstart it. It has no power.
None of that.
Well, when we send you up there, you can.
Now you would think that
You can brush it off.
You would think that if the solar panels are still active, I guess they're not active because the whole thing's dead, so it can't even store the energy to
Yeah.
make the battery turn back on. But I mean, iconic piece of technology that gave us
Some great photos off
some
that.
great photos from Mars and helped us understand the planet a little bit better.
Yeah.
And
Is that one of the rovers that found the evidence of water, or is that maybe one of the other missions?
I don't know.
Weren't there 2 originally?
It was the third. This is the third. It was the third one. So there were 2 other ones before that.
Oh, wait, so did it? They're just officially like calling it like
Yeah, they can't
Dunzo
contact.
now.
You never
but
know. It
was,
could
like,
still be
months
going
ago.
around in
right,
circles.
Right.
Not responding to radio.
Right.
I mean, that's
Or the aliens got it.
oh.
That's more
Yeah.
likely, actually.
The aliens!
Oh, so it was launched in 2003.
The last picture they took
That is
of
crazy.
M. Night Shyamalan in the...
Transformers.
Yeah, traveled 28 miles, the farthest distance achieved by an extraplanetary
I feel
robot.
like that doesn't seem like a lot though.
Well, yeah.
Wow.
Good for it. What was it saying again?
15 years.
The first rover,
It
Spirit,
was a he.
became stuck in a sand trap.
Being appropriate.
Sand trip.
Come on.
The sand people
Get
got
with the
it.
times.
So Opportunity made several landmark discoveries. The first meteorite found on
Wow.
a planet, revealing that the Meridia Planetarium was once immersed in water,
Oh, cool.
and looked at over 100 impact craters, and of course the great pictures that we saw as well. So
So is there another rover there now? Like
I don't think so.
No, that's it.
I don't think so.
That's too bad.
Well, it was supposed to have a baby. But
No, I think this was the third and the last one.
Geo.
yeah, just.
I don't even know.
Well, that's really cool that it lasted that long. I mean, the amount of information that we
Yeah.
got from that.
know.
So wait, what does it say? It will be joined
Oh,
by...
you're right. Curiosity is still there. The only active rover on the Martian surface, Curiosity.
So maybe you're onto something.
There will be a
Curiosity.
Mars 2020 rover.
Well, let's hope they don't crash that one into the
And
surface. Like,
Rosalind Franklin, the European Space Agency's rover, both in 2020.
Ooh,
I
it's
didn't
gonna
know
be a
the
party up
Europeans knew how
there.
to go to Mars. Letting them catch up.
Something's in this
my God.
raspberry chocolate.
Well, that reminds me. So, jam the radar. We were talking about that before. Spaceballs. Radar's been jammed.
That's right.
So, talking about space here with the rover. Hey,
The rover got
Really
jammed.
tied
all this.
together there.
Honestly, this week's show has all come together and tied together. We've been rolling from topic to topic.
And now this opportunity, what is it? Opportunity just had to
Poppy.
bring it back to us.
Is it?
That's what we do here on Actifio on Tech.
Hoppy or
Hoppy.
Hoppy? You should
called
name a
Hoppy.
beer after
We
Opportunity.
probably should.
Yeah,
Well, I don't
That's
make beer, so
Maybe
I just
Actifio
drink
4.
it.
that could be your next venture. I feel like you guys know enough
Way
about
too lazy
this.
to do that. I just like to drink
Chris
it.
makes it upstairs sometimes.
Yeah, we could.
You make beer
We can
upstairs?
invite you.
Yeah, can I come? I'd love to
God.
come.
We can make it down here too.
This seems like a really good place to
could.
make beer. Yeah.
Or not.
We do have a fridge back here that's
Yes.
not being used.
The fridge is important when boiling grain.
Afterwards.
Very.
Well, thank you, Jason, for the beer. And
Yeah,
thank you,
hey.
Rachel, for
Yeah,
the stories.
thank you.
Cheers, everyone.
Guys.
This is barrel aged. This is really nice.
It's really, really good.
It is, I really
I
enjoyed
cheers, but
it.
I'm
Make sure to hit that subscribe button.
Thank you, sir.
Our director's chugging in the back.
Yeah.
After Geo off camera.
Well, with this crew, we just kind of
He has to keep up.
has
the
to.
lips. Just so good.
Has to get
you
by
do?
it somehow.
Well, anyways, everyone, thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Valentine's Day again.
Valentine's
This is
Day.
Actifio on Tech. We'll see you next week. Cheers.
Pound that subscribe button.
Pound that subscribe
Press
button.
it now.
Like Geo pounded
Right
his
there.
beer.
Hit the like.
The red
Pound
button.
that subscribe button.
Press.
The red button.
Subscribe.
Oh,
Is it not red?
I don't know.
Might be
I think
orange.
it's yellow. No,
I don't
it's
go on Face 2.
Face
All right.
two.
Bill Belichick.